Many in the Subnautica community would say Below Zero is the lesser of two games in the series. Some may say the game is fun, I like the original, but the others, some people complain a bit much, I guess. Tons of people seem to have an unfair disdain for the sequel, or rather spin-off, to the Subnautica game, this being evident if you look at some of the comments of my Leviathan ranking video, where I put some Below Zero Leviathans near the top 3. Seriously, some people found the ratings so bad they couldn't comprehend that I'd even played the games before. And come on, it's been years since I played and bet the games, you seriously can't expect me to remember everything perfectly. And by the way, where did they think I got the endgame clips from? Never mind. Before I get into some of my main points, I'd appreciate a like and or subscribe. It's perfectly optional, don't feel obligated to do either. Just keep in mind that this video is not factual, it's just opinion based. For the first point, I've seen many haters of Below Zero hate on the fact that the protagonist actually talks instead of making grunting noises. This is mainly because it takes away from the isolated feel of the first game, as well as there being other talking characters like Alan, who amazingly gives you voice calls mid-squid shark encounter. I feel like in cases like this we shouldn't ignore the fact that the Sea Emperor exists, as well as radio messages in the first game. I understand that it may make it feel less isolated, but I also think that it's more likely that it's another classic case of communities absolutely hating any form of change. Take the Roblox or My Singing Monsters community for example, when things like new maps, new fonts, or new UI comes into play. I personally had a lot of fun with Below Zero, but some people genuinely dislike it for the new protagonist, despite her actually having a personality and character. The PDA voice is a bit weird though until you get used to it. I feel that communities not being able to accept change can completely ruin a new title in a series, as evident here. Another thing people seem to be whining about is the scariness factor. A recurring criticism of the game is how people do not find it scary. I personally stopped finding Subnautica scary after beating it back in 2020, and so I might not be able to judge this fairly, but I think the biomes and world look a lot more beautiful in Below Zero than in the original. I feel like the creatures fit their environments more, and that's what I really like about Below Zero. You might disagree, but I think the underwater world in this game, despite being smaller, is so much better than in the original. The Leviathans match your environments especially, and feel more real than the first game. Let's be honest, the Sea Dragon and Sea Emperor don't make much sense to exist. Like, why can the Emperor telepathically communicate in a way that humans can understand? But then again, an alien water planet with advanced precursor species and faster than light travel doesn't make much sense either. Unfortunately, me saying this will get a lot of hate, and again, some people will ask when I started playing. I must admit I first played the game in 2019, but I had already been introduced to the series beforehand from YouTuber playthroughs like DanTDM's when the game released in January of 2018. I believe this is an unbiased opinion, unlike the opinions others may hold due to a sentimental attachment to the first game. For my third point, a lot of criticism has come from people saying the vehicles are considerably worse in Below Zero. Now, to be completely honest, this point isn't wrong. The sea truck is a little annoying and the exit animation is a bit long. At least we still have the prawn suit, right? Also, I've never felt the need to use the Snow Fox in Below Zero much at all. This is a valid argument against Below Zero, and a lot of people think the Cyclops is better than the vehicles in Below Zero. Of course, I disagree with this. I've never actually used the Cyclops much other than for the shield upgrade required for the Neptune escape rocket in the first game. Overall, it's a pretty useless vehicle, barely having any speed or way to turn in tight spaces. This is why I wasn't as upset finding out the Cyclops was removed in Below Zero. When Below Zero came out and I finally got the game, I expected it to be like the first game with the Seamoth, my favourite vehicle, but alas, it was removed. I wasn't a big fan of this when I played Below Zero, and I tried to keep as spoiler free as possible before the game came out by not looking at many early access clips, so I was very unpleasantly surprised by the lack of Seamoths in Below Zero. And so in my opinion, the Seamoth is better than the Sea Truck, and the Sea Truck is better than the Cyclops. And in conclusion, I feel like Below Zero is still a very good game. I had so much fun playing it and had no idea it was so hated until I looked online recently and found a lot of hate for the game. Of course, if you dislike the game, that is your opinion, but I feel like the hate Below Zero gets is unfair, and as a result of people not accepting change. It's a little annoying that having Below Zero Leviathans as your favourite makes people think you've either not played the games, or you played Below Zero first before the first game, when in my case, that's not true at all. I played a bit Subnautica before Below Zero officially released. Let's just hope that when Subnautica 2 comes out, the community will be more open to change.